Welcome to the PDX files. Each week we dive into the weird and the unexplained here in the Pacific Northwest and beyond. My name is Peej.
And I am Mac.
And Mac, what are we talking about tonight?
Well, we're going to get in, and we had a video a long while back about the Vatican and the UFOs, but this is now just sort of the Vatican and kind of, some shit they may have tried to bury. Now, the good news about this episode is that I purposely did not watch the clips in between because it had the ability to sort of fast forward between it had this all marked out like what do they call that in the YouTube vernacular?
Timestamps.
Timestamp, yeah. So it was already timestamped. So I'm looking forward to viewing this with open eyes and an open mind, just as much as you are.
And open hearts.
Well, yeah.
We'll go and watch the video
I'm
now.
probably a little bit clogged by now after all these years, but yeah.
Oh yeah, I'm sure. There's evidence of it. All right, here we go.
Female Pope.
Oh.
You say the Vatican once had a special throne carved in marble with a hole in the seat. During papal coronations, a young cardinal was tasked with an unusual duty to reach beneath the chair and confirm that the new pope's anatomy was in order. Only then would he declare,
That makes sense.
He has them. Et bene pedentes. Hang well.
Oh my gosh.
Why
That is so douchey.
Some say it was to make sure that what happened once would never happen again. This is the story of Pope Joan, a woman who, according to centuries of rumor and record, disguised herself as a man, rose through the ranks of the church, and sat on the throne of St. Peter. She first appears in 13th century chronicles, but the legend places her in the 9th century. These records describe an English scholar named Johannes Anglicus, said to have studied in Athens and dazzled Rome with intelligence and quiet authority. Few suspected that beneath the robes and tonsure was a woman named Joan. Her ascent was extraordinary. She gained favor with powerful men and rose steadily through the church. Eventually, the College of Cardinals elected her pope, none the wiser. And for a time, she ruled capably, without suspicion. But the illusion couldn't last. According to one version of the legend, during a papal procession near the Church of San Clemente, Joan suddenly collapsed in the street and gave birth.
What?
Why? Yeah, come on.
Realizing they'd been deceived, turned on her and the infant in a frenzy. Others claim she was quietly removed, her name erased from the records. The church, of course, denies the entire episode. No official documents acknowledge a female pope. And yet the evidence, fragmentary and contested, continues to surface. For centuries, papal processions avoided the very street. Locals called it the shunned path. In Siena Cathedral, a bust labeled John VIII, female, was said to stand among the popes till the 1600s, when it was mysteriously relabeled as Pope Zachary. There is also a curious gap, 2 years long, in some papal chronologies between the reigns of Benedict III and Nicholas I.
Oh.
Several medieval chroniclers, including Martin of Opava in the 13th century, recorded a Pope Joan. More recently, archaeologists have uncovered coins minted during that disputed interval. Coins that some argue bear subtle traces and unique monograms that could have been Joan's.
Jesus.
And then there's the sedes stercoraria, the throne with the hole. The church says it was a symbol of humility, but others believe it was used to verify a pope's manhood, inspired by Joan's deception. She may have even survived through other artifacts. Early tarot decks featured a card called La Papesse, the Pope, a triple-crowned woman reading a book. Official records insist Pope Joan never existed. But if that's true, why the chair? Why the missing statue, the avoided street, the altered coins? To this day, pilgrims leave flowers at a modest shrine near the Colosseum. They come quietly, some with rosaries, others with questions.
I mean, I seem to think that I've heard of something like that before. I don't remember
haven't.
where. Have you known? I think
I have not.
I think it was probably on like a History Channel type thing that I saw that sort of touching that, but I didn't know to the detail. I mean, the fact that they have now, again, I don't know where those paintings or the artwork came from, but clearly it's either like some serious fucking urban legend that was propagated back in the day for like no reason, or there's something to it. It could have been, a gal that maybe had some very manly features. Do I think she gave birth in the street? Fuck no, I don't believe anything like that. But clearly there's something going on there, um, whether or not it's true or not, but something to do with the person. And again, there's the gap in sort of the register, the history of the popes there. That's kind of interesting. I don't know. That's it. It's really interesting.
Yeah, the first 3 minutes and 40 seconds of this video is fucked up. I mean, obviously the thought of an erased pope who happens to be, I guess, trans at probably at that point,
I guess, but I mean, probably not like trans as like today's standards, but like someone who had
cross-dressing.
but as someone who had kind of this like talent and it really was like religious, and maybe they thought this is some sort of punishment. I don't know what it could have been, but
Right.
the ability to fool all these people, not really. If you look at some of the artwork, it definitely looked feminine. I mean,
Yeah.
that could have just been because of the urban legend itself. I mean, who knows?
Who knows? But and again, the folks who are listening on the podcast, please do watch the video, because there's the throne that was redesigned after the Pope Joan incident that made sure that there was a designated person who fills up the new pope to make
grabbing nuts. Yeah.
make sure that the family jewels are indeed there.
Good
That's
God.
messed up.
That to me is the biggest evidence that it's real, is that they have that shit. It looks like a goddamn toilet.
It looked like a toilet.
Yeah,
that's what it was.
But if that you're gonna have some assigned guy to like reach up, there's like these are hanging. Essentially, is what they were saying on that. Like, holy shit, there must be some real fear behind that.
I can imagine like the designated guy going, well, if you must insist, let me.
I really don't want that job. Like, no, that's okay. I'll pass on that promotion. I'm good. No, you're doing it.
All right, you drew the short straw. All right, here we go.
The final pope. In 2025, just weeks after the death of Pope Francis and the surprise election of his successor, an ancient manuscript roared back into public view, one that claims to predict the identity of every pope and the end of the world. It's called the Prophecy of the Popes, the mysterious list of 112 short Latin mottos, each believed to describe a future pontiff. The prophecy was attributed to the Irish Saint Malachy in the 1100s, though it wasn't published until 1595 by a Benedictine monk named Arnold Wian.
Arnold.
The list begins with Celestine II in 1143 and ends with a chilling warning. The final pope, Peter the Roman, will shepherd the church through a time of tribulation. Then the city of Rome will fall, and a, quote, dreadful judge will appear. A rare solar eclipse is set to brush Rome on August 2nd, 2027. And for some, that's the date the prophecy points to, the moment it all ends. For centuries, the document was dismissed as a clever forgery, likely crafted to influence a papal election in the late 1500s. Its accuracy dropped sharply after 1590, suggesting it may have been created around that time, not by Saint Malachy at all. But the 1978 election of Pope John Paul II reignited his corresponding motto in the prophecy, De labore solis, from the labor of the sun, seemed uncannily accurate. He was born during a solar eclipse in 1920.
Oh.
Buried during
shit.
5. Next came Gloria Olivae, Glory of the Olive, widely linked to Benedict XVI, whose chosen name echoed the Olivetan branch of the Benedictines. Then came Francis. But there's no motto for Francis. Only the final line of the prophecy remains, the one describing Peter the Roman, a shepherd who guides the church through suffering. For years, some speculated Francis might be that figure, first Jesuit, the son of Italian immigrants. Even his namesake, St. Francis of Assisi, whose born Giovanni di Petro, literally John, son of Peter. The symbolism seemed to fit. Francis, 2025, the world didn't end. Some argue the prophecy leaves no room for more popes between Gloria Olivae and Peter the Roman. Others believe the final figure has now arrived. On May 8th, 2025, Cardinals elected Pope Leo XIV. To believers, he may be the last name on the list. Prophecy, if served as a direct tithe, is it myth, or is it something more?
So that was very interesting.
Yes.
And it's kind of it's going to be interesting to find out whether if it does come true in 2027, so it's 2 years from now, and Pope, I think I forgot what his name is now. Pope Francis, is that the new guy?
He's Pope Deep Dish Pizza. He's from Chicago.
Oh wait, I just remembered it. I think he's Leo the 14th or something like
Leo,
that.
yeah. And the other thing that's interesting about that year is that a lot of UAP people are saying that 2027 is going to be a big year for aliens appearing as well. So 2027 has kind of a weird Nostradamus-y kind of thing going on there.
Well, I think, if the Catholic Church or if Christianity ended in 2027, it'd be interesting. And
That'd
to
be
your
fun.
point, if there is some sort of like alignment with UFO whatever
There is.
experiences,
Yeah.
we've talked about in this podcast before whether, that religion will likely collapse if it's proven that, that aliens exist and that there is no God and all of that stuff, right?
Yeah, I think it would. I mean, at least that theory of it. I mean, the thing about religion is that even if all that comes to pass, there will still be some other sect of people who start believing it's like, oh, all this was supposed to happen. So actually, there is another higher power on top of the other higher power. That's now the
Yeah.
higher power. And so, religion and the ability to fill oneself with a lot of bullshit to try to explain things will continue to happen. But I mean, this is an interesting one. It's got some stuff behind it. Again, I like the first one. This is an interesting second theory. I'm looking forward to this third one.
All right, here we go.
Corpse trial. They said the corpse worked miracles after it washed ashore, but just months earlier, Pope Formosus had been the star of the most grotesque trial in history.
Bad haircut.
In 897, Pope Stephen VI ordered his predecessor to be dug up. Formosus had been dead for 7 months. His body, half decomposed, was dressed in sacred vestments, propped up on a throne inside Rome's Basilica of St. John Lateran, and placed on trial. The event would be remembered as the cadaver
There's a guy, Bernie.
corpse trial. At Stephen's command, the deacon stood beside the corpse and spoke on its behalf. Some accounts claim the deacon even answered in Formosus's voice, like a ventriloquist animating a puppet. The charges: usurping the papacy, violating canon law, and swearing false oaths. The verdict was inevitable. This wasn't just madness. It was politics. Before his death, Formosus had supported a powerful German ruler named Arnulf of Carinthia in a battle for control of the Holy Roman Empire. That made him an enemy of the Spoleto family, who backed the rival emperor, Lambert. When Stephen VI became pope, he took the side of Lambert and wanted to wipe out any trace of Formosa's influence. He wasn't acting alone. Watching from the shadows was Queen Ageltrude, Lambert's mother and a fierce political player. Some believe it was she who pushed for the bizarre trial, using Stephen as a puppet to destroy her family's enemies. After the corpse was found guilty, Stephen ordered Formosa stripped of his papal garments. 3 fingers, ones used for blessings, were removed.
My gosh.
And the body was thrown into the Tiber. That should have ended it. It didn't. Within months, Formosus' body allegedly resurfaced and began to draw crowds. Whispers of miracles followed. Rome turned on Stephen. He was arrested, imprisoned, and soon after found strangled in his cell.
He was Epstein.
Spread.
Yeah, he was Epstein right there.
Lambert's agents, his own guards. The chaos didn't stop with Stephen. 2 popes later, Sergius III revived the charges against Formosus, only for another successor to reverse them again. The church seesawed between guilt and innocence. Meanwhile, a legend spread. Anyone who disturbed Formosus' corpse would die. Within a single terrifying year, Rome watched 3 new popes ascend, each disturbing the remains, each swiftly undone. One was strangled in prison, one disposed and shut away in a monastery, and one died mysteriously after only 20 days. A pattern that clear was hard to ignore, and rumors of a cadaver curse seeped into every tavern and cloister in the city. The cadaver synod endures as one of the darkest chapters in papal history. A grotesque trial staged to settle living scores, yet haunted ever since by the sense that the dead were not finished speaking.
I mean, I think he was finished speaking. They just kept bringing him back up. Like, he was like, what the fuck do I got to do? I'm under the ground. Why are you bringing me back up? You're cutting up my fingers. You're just taking up my papal garments. I'm fully for. I think his name is Formosus. I'm on
Yeah.
his side. I'm backing
Yeah.
his side the entire way. Like, this motherfucker should have known when to stop. It's
Yeah.
crazy.
He was literally, per my last email, you know, and you still don't get it. Jeez.
Okay, I get it. I'm done. Okay, let me go back to sleep. No, you wake me up again. Or what's that from the third Godfather? I thought I was out. They keep bringing me back in. It's like, just leave the poor guy alone. And clearly, I'm glad they finally figured it out after three times.
Well,
I'm just so shocked that it took him 3 times to get to that point.
Well, 3 times the charm, you know, as they say.
Man.
And it's kind of funny that the corpse obviously is the one who's on trial. And
yeah, he's just sitting. He's just chilling.
He was found guilty and then found innocent and then found guilty again. It's kind of just, it's effed up.
He's guilty of chilling. He's weekend at Bernie's.
Well, they didn't have Netflix then, so that's why they weren't, you know, they weren't able to Netflix and chill. Meanwhile, all they did was dig up corpses. Oh my gosh! All right.
I think that says a lesson to anybody who wants to dig up corpses: don't do it.
Do not do it. All right, here goes.
The Red Pope.
The Red.
At precisely 6 p.m. on October 26, 1958, white smoke rose from the Sistine Chapel chimney. Vatican radio confirmed it, quote, "The smoke is white. There's absolutely no doubt." Bells rang. Crowds wept. A new pope had been chosen.
Oh, okay. I was trying to figure out what that was.
On the balcony. Then, as if history stuttered, the white smoke darkened. It turned black. Confusion rippled through St. Peter's Square. In papal tradition, white smoke signals a successful election. Black means no decision has been reached. The Vatican blamed a faulty stove mixture, claiming the smoke was red. But for some, the moment marked the silencing of a pope the world was never meant to know.
Oh,
according to the theory, that pope was Cardinal Giuseppe Siri, a staunch anti-communist and theological hardliner. He reportedly received the required votes and even chose a name, Gregory XVII. But something or someone intervened. Siri, they claim, was forced to step down under threat of nuclear annihilation.
What?
Some say the agents, lured by Siri's hardline views, had infiltrated the conclave and issued an ultimatum. Elect him, and the Vatican would be destroyed. Faced with potential catastrophe, cardinals turned to a safer option, Angelo Roncalli, who became Pope John XXIII. Some strange details give the theory momentum. American Cardinal Francis Spellman reportedly emerged from the conclave looking ashen-faced. Roncalli himself followed tradition, ordering the cardinals to remain sequestered with him for an additional 24 hours after his election. And Siri, when questioned decades later, replied, quote, "Let's not talk about that." In the aftermath, the Vatican quietly upgraded its smoke system. They contracted a fireworks factory outside Rome to provide chemically consistent cartridges, potassium chlorate and lactose for white, anthracene and sulfur for black.
Interesting.
The goal was clarity, but the move also suggested just how dangerous a little ambiguity could be. Supporters of the Siri theory point to a pair of declassified U.S. State Department memos, one titled John XXIII, the other Cardinal Siri, which remain heavily redacted. To believers, the blacked-out lines are hints of a suppressed truth. The so-called Gregory XVII never spoke publicly about what happened, but some insist he lived out his days as the true pope in exile, with hidden followers calling him Le Barroso.
What the fuck is wrong with his face?
Named after
No.
politics, for the crimson rosetta he never exchanged for the pope's white robes.
Jesus.
The skeptics, it's Cold War fiction, an elaborate myth built from coincidence and paranoia. But the theory endures, a reminder that even in an age of mushroom clouds, the ancient rituals of Rome can still conceal secrets too dangerous to announce.
I like that. I like what he just said there. That's very interesting and disturbing. At the same
Mm-hmm.
time, like every one of these have been extremely disturbing, like really bad things going down behind the scenes. Can kind of understand the idea of maybe not having the right chemical mix to throw into the smoker, but um, that's it's very interesting. Can you imagine that happening today? Like, the amount of the problems that would cause, putting out the wrong vibe as to who is the next pope. And even though that religion is not quite what it was back in those days, it still affects a lot of. And as far as like Christians or the Catholic,
Yeah.
the Catholic brand of it, it would still cause a lot of issues if it's white. Oh, that's good. Or I think it's good. I don't remember. And, oh, it's black. Holy shit, that's wrong. And then having them do, sort of go against all the norms that were of the day. Yeah, I can imagine that being quite a crossfire on CNN.
Yeah, I mean it's a weird like gender reveal party that that they were witnessing, right? It's like, wait, was it blue or was it pink? But yeah, it's I don't know. Obviously these are all like conspiracy theories that involve the Vatican, right? And so
yeah.
and it's getting crazier and crazier. So I don't know. Looking forward to what this last piece is.
Yeah, they've all sort of happened in their own ways. Like they're conspiracy theories, but they've been out there, and so it's not quite urban legend, but it's like really interesting how it continues to anyway to this very day.
Well, yeah, and obviously, I think with I think we mentioned it already in a previous episode as well. I mean, religion is about power, is holding on to power, and so the fact that, or not the fact, but they reportedly been investigating UFOs this whole time, and then collaborating or corroborating rather with JFK. Um, it just speaks to what the secrecy that always surrounded the Catholic Church anyway, with everything else, with all the other scandals that happened, that continues to happen, right, with Catholic.
Well, yeah, and I think that the more science sort of encroaches upon religion, and some of those lines blur a little bit to it, right? But I mean, Galileo and their persecution of scientists of the Earth is the center of the universe, right?
Right.
Anybody who said anything outside of that, you're going to end up getting killed at like some point. And now they're to this point where they're at the center of all these crazy conspiracy theories, and even involved in UAPs and all these other kind of international conspiracies, even going back to World War II. It's just it just shows. Well, I mean, forever, really. I mean, not just World War II, in the center of things that they probably shouldn't have been.
Exactly. All right. Well, let's continue here.
The Pope who quit.
Hmm.
When workers opened the tomb of Pope Celestine V in 1630, they found something strange. A square hole in the skull, clean and deliberate, as if someone had driven a spike into it.
Shit.
For centuries, rumors of murder clung to his name.
Hmm?
The official story said he died in confinement. But who locks away an 86-year-old hermit?
Hey now.
Born Pietro Angelerio in 1209, Celestine never sought power. As a young Benedictine monk, he withdrew into the mountains of Abruzzo to live in silence and prayer. His devotion attracted followers, so many that a new monastic order formed around him, the Celestines. Still, Pietro authority.
The Celestine prophecy.
By 1292, the church had gone leaderless for 2 years. The College of Cardinals, deadlocked in Perugia, could not agree on a successor to Pope Nicholas IV. In frustration, Pietro sent them a letter from his remote monastery. He warned that their inaction was an offense to God, writing that, quote, Divine vengeance will fall upon you if they continue to delay.
Mm.
They took it as a sign. Cardinal Latino Malabranca declared Pietro the next pope on the spot. Days later, a delegation...
This is my pizza recipe.
...informed the hermit of his unwanted promotion. He accepted reluctantly, becoming Pope Celestine V at the age of 85.
Jesus.
Celestine quickly tried to reshape the church in the image of early Christianity, humble, self-disciplined, and devoted.
Mm.
But he was unprepared for the politics of the papal court.
They're like, fuck that.
By King Charles II of Naples. After 5 disillusioning months, he issued a decree allowing a pope to resign, and then used it himself. His successor, Boniface VIII, feared Celestine's lingering popularity. Rather than return to his mountains, Boniface had him imprisoned in a stone cell at Fumone Castle. Celestine died there. Forensic analysis suggests the hole in his skull was inflicted after death, but rumors of foul play remain. Witnesses claimed a glowing cross appeared outside his cell the night he died. For a man who longed for silence, Celestine's strange story still speaks loud.
Well, I would say, at least in his defense, not really defense, but I mean, he didn't want to be fucked around with, and clearly he was fine with like bare necessities. So imprisoning him is like, oh, this is a vacation from my problems. Clearly, and then, but I guess I don't understand why they would put like that hole in his skull post mortem. That's kind of weird to me.
Well,
Why, like, what are they trying to achieve there?
well, yeah. I mean, I think that's the part of the mystery, right? I mean,
Right.
if he had died in prison and they're making it, they're publicizing it as, from natural causes, but then when you do a post-mortem and you see
Yeah.
the hole, it may have been murdered. He may have been murdered rather, in prison, because he's probably like, still spouting off. If you don't do this, you'll bring the death to you. I don't know.
Well, no, I mean, he was saying that people should be humble and not be, it sounded like he was a pretty cool dude. It was like, actually trying to live up to what Jesus would do. And actually, that's what a lot of Christians refuse to do. Like this whole like luxury Christianity nowadays, like, well, Christ would have wanted us to be rich. Actually, no, that
Right.
had nothing to do with that whatsoever. You actually read the Bible. So this dude is probably like, yeah, I'm down with this prison cell. I got no bed. It's like a wooden bed. I got barely any blankets. I'm good with this. This is what I'm supposed to be doing. So they almost sort of did him a solid as far as like him being a martyr almost a little bit. But yeah, I mean that's an interesting one. It's very interesting.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
all 5 of those were interesting.
Yeah, and and like I said earlier, that religion is about power, holding on to power, and they did say in the video here, the narration, that this guy, this pope, particular pope, was not interested in power. He was more interested in really, to your point, shaping it back to the original intention of the religion, right? Which
He
is
was like 85, they said when he made it.
85 when he won.
He
Yeah,
didn't even want to be the guy, but he had to sort of do it because there was this whole thing, right? So yeah, I can see, that one I believe a lot more than anything else is like, oh yeah, he was murdered in prison and because they didn't want this guy. But then again, he's now remembered as being a pretty good dude and he just kind of mysterious death, but
yeah.
certainly earned it.
Well, his nuts and would have been felt by the official nut feeler as well. So.
He's 85, man. Come on, he's 85.
Well, folks, if you enjoyed this content, please give it a like and share it across your socials to help get the word out about our show. If you hadn't already done so, please subscribe, and on YouTube, hit that notification bell to make sure you don't miss out on future episodes. Thanks for tuning in. We'll see you next time.